Oh yeah, welcome to the Intuitive Empire. I'm your host, Jaya Rose, and we can finally get started because you are here. And if you are ready to energetically align with your desires, own your innate magic, and step powerfully into your spiritual leadership, well, love, you're in the right place. Let's do the damn thing already. Hey, welcome back to the podcast. This is going to be an exciting one because we are talking about pivoting, shifting, and expanding. Oh my. And if you are a multi-passionate free spirit like me, you are not new to this conversation. How many times have you pivoted, shifted, and expanded? It's like an obsession almost, isn't it? Well, if you haven't, then maybe this episode is going to inspire you to expand a little bit because it is not bad, okay? First of all, I just want to bust the myth that it's bad for your business to pivot. So, first of all, okay, well, it kind of can be bad, okay? Let me just be real. It just depends on what you think is bad. I will tell you that I experienced a major drop in my income from pivoting my business. So when I was teaching visibility and video, I created $150,000 of revenue in 10 months in this brand new business. That was amazing because I had never made that much money. It was 5 times the amount of money I had ever made in my own business. And it really blew the lid off for me. And what happened is I was like, oh, this is amazing. And I am capable of so much more than I ever knew. And all of a sudden I started questioning, but what do I actually want to be known for? Because if I am this powerful, I am capable of manifesting anything I desire, and I know that it will happen. And it really actually kind of scared me because it was like when I wasn't believing in myself, then I didn't have to ask these big questions. It's like convenient, right? We don't hang out on the sidelines and not believe in ourselves for no reason. It's all about protection. So I was protecting myself from the dark night of the soul that was to come when I actually asked myself, what am I meant to be known for? Just because I had success and I actually was known, I was becoming really well known for visibility. And it was like, it was time to put the pump, I want to say pump the brakes. It was time to pump the brakes or full throttle ahead. And I chose to pump the brakes. And so, yes, my business declined because I basically just demolished that business. I said, okay, I'm not teaching video anymore. I took the signature program I had created, Rock Your Videos, and I retired it. I actually turned it digital and I still offer it as bonuses and things. And it's amazing, but it's not what I'm meant to be known for. It's like an add-on. Okay. And so the add-on, the thing that could be an add-on for your business is not the thing that you build your signature program around. But this just gives you an example. This was how much of myself I was putting out there. It was how much of myself I was willing to have be revealed. The thing that now is an add-on to my signature program was the thing that I was claiming was my signature program and what I'm meant to be known for. So this is huge, right? So I want you to look at this in your life. Like, what are you offering the world? What do your offers mean? What do they say about you? And do you feel like you would stamp this, like with your stamp of approval, your life purpose to say, I am delivering my best content ever. And this is the sacred signature offer that I know will go on for a long time. Or is what you're doing maybe actually more like a bonus for something else that's bigger and yet to come? Hey, no judgment, sister, because I'm telling you, this is where I was. And this was just 2 years ago. Actually, 2 years ago right now is when this happened. And so I ended up, I know I've talked about this on the podcast, I went into a dark night of the soul and I just started really being open to what the answers were. Like, I don't know the answer. So I'm going to be open and see what comes through. And that took a long time. It took a full year. It wasn't till a full year later. And I think that year I made about $80,000 in my business, which when I look back, I'm so grateful for, because there were months that I said to my husband, I know that I'm supporting the family with my business because we had brought him home from his job to come to take care of Ava and to be a part of my business. And I wasn't making money. Like there were some months that I just said, I can't even think about making money because it puts pressure on this other part of me that is meant to be nurtured and nourished while I figure it out, while I stay open. And he was amazing and supportive. And I'm so grateful, because there's no reason that any of us would trust this scenario. This is not the typical way of doing things. Most people would say this is sabotage. This is insane. You're going to put your life on credit cards while you just like figure it out, right? At 40 years old. Yeah, damn straight. That's what we're going to do, because I know that that year was the most valuable year of my life. And I am not just talking about internal value. I'm talking about external value, because what came out of it was my signature, my sacred signature offer and body, which now this year has built steam, and heading into 2020 can definitely be a six-figure to multiple six-figure offer. That is incredible. Like, what does it take for someone to create a multiple six-figure offer? Well, I think it looks different for everybody, but you can't say it's wrong. Do you know what I mean? Whatever phase you're in right now, you can't say that it's wrong because it's leading you to something, but you have to have faith and trust that it's leading you there, because you won't know what it was until you look back, because of course the hindsight's 2020. So I can say that now. Oh yeah, of course that I knew that was valuable. And you know what? The truth is I did know, and I trusted. I just knew that it was going to come through. And within this last year, I also have known that all the pieces weren't there. And so this is another piece. It's like we need to honor this process of allowing ourselves to shift and pivot and expand. And sometimes it's contract, but it's like contraction is a part of expansion. The two are married. Without one, there isn't the other. And as we do this, then we must take action. So it's like it would be so easy to just stay in that forever. I knew that if I didn't make a big investment and declare that I was ready to move forward out of this dark night of the soul, which was now 1 year ago, I would have just continued digging and going down the rabbit hole of self-exploration and asking more and more questions. So we can sort of become addicted to this. And I think it's a real fine line. Like, is it time to go inward more, or is it time to take all of the inward work you've done and expand and put it out? And this is something you have to ask yourself. But I knew that it was time to do the outer work. And that's when I joined the BA, the Business Accelerator program, and built my own signature offer and created my own methodology. And it's so amazing. And also, it's like a yes and. I knew that there was something else that was going to come through. At the same time, I went completely in on Embody. So what I've done for the last year, I mean, this is almost November. So I launched it in January. It's like just under a year, and I've launched it 3 times. I've put, let's see, 18 women through the program. And then 4 women have come back to do the alumni, because I run an alumni. The content and the program and the methodology is so freaking powerful that people do it over again, the same content. And that speaks huge volumes, because I had never created anything that powerful in my life before this. And so it speaks to how powerful I allowed myself to go inward, then the outward matches that, right? And in that, what I've known is that this is the deep inner work, because I like to say you go deep to go wide. And I have wondered sort of like, well, what is the wide that I'm teaching? And, maybe you took it, or I did an episode on storytelling, because storytelling is something that I offer in Embody. We actually end the last module of Embody is soul story. And you learn your soul thread and the soul story that needs to come through to really be the foundation for your big work in the world. But then the program ends. And so I taught impactful storytelling, and I thought, well, maybe this is it. But then I realized this is just another piece also. And I just sort of kept doing my thing. And so I know that the last couple episodes, if you haven't listened to them, the last two episodes, I have been hinting to the fact that some things are changing, that the name of the podcast is changing, and that all this new stuff is happening. I'm going to tell you right now what's happening. So I'm so excited. But I knew that something needed to come through around a movement. Like I've always felt like I had a movement inside of me, and yet I didn't know what it was. And it's like I needed to go through my own process and really be on my own journey to be able to then have enough information. I call it pieces of the puzzle to make out what it is. It's like, oh, here's another piece to the puzzle. Let me put it in there. What is it? What is it? And I don't even know. I get the piece to the puzzle and I know clearly it's a piece, but I don't know what the big picture is. This is what trusting looks like. This is what it is. This is the trust, trusting each piece to the puzzle as if it's whole and yet it's a part of something bigger. And as it's been revealed to me, it really is around this movement. And in the movement, it is this idea of go deep to go wide, because we're here for something bigger and we need to share all of ourselves. Like when you bring all of yourself to the table is when you are ready for that next level. When you are ready to scale and move forward with, more success. And I feel like it's taught backwards. It's taught where we have to get all the things and you have to have the money and then you're successful. But what I teach and embody is that it's about expanding your energetic capacity, and that when you become a match for these desires and for these big dreams, then they come in. Okay. And so I wasn't offering a way to actually share that with the world. So here are the two big things that I am revealing right now to you. I'm so excited. And then also, I really hope that you're taking away something about yourself in this to see, where are you judging where you are? And really, where are you asking yourself the big questions of, am I in the place where I need to go deeper, or am I in the place where I need to go wider? Is it deep or wide? And those are different phases. And so I'm so excited to now have an offer that is around the going wide part, because Embody is the going deep. And this is what's happening. Okay. So when I was so focused on what is this movement, what is the name? What is the name? What is the name? What is the name? This is what kept coming through. Oh my gosh. What is the name? I was actually doing legs up the wall, and I can't remember if I talked about this in the last episode, and a name came through and I was like, oh my gosh, that's the best name. And I had been really open to names coming through for about 3 weeks. And I will tell you that I usually name things very fast. So this was crazy for me. It's like, what is the name? It's out there. It's out there in the ether. And I just kept feeling like if I just keep raising my vibration and keeping open, it will come. And it did. So it came, and I instantly got up out of the legs up the wall. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm Googling this. And so the name that I thought of was actually taken, because it's hot. Okay. It's a nice name. But I ended up texting my daughter, because my daughter, Becca, you guys, she's been on my website. She is the website. She's not been on the website. She's been on the podcast. She is the website extraordinaire. And I have helped her name a lot of stuff. So I messaged her and asked her to help me. And she came back and she said, what about She Rise? And I was like, oh my gosh, that's it. That's it. So my brand expansion name is She Rise with Jaya Rose. And what She Rise means, because you might notice that it's not exactly appropriate English, and it's that way on purpose, because my entire mission is that we rise, that when we connect with our spiritual nature and we share our great work with the world, we elevate the vibration of not only ourselves, but also the planet. We create the ripple effect of change. And in this is the oneness, that when we experience the oneness and how we are all one, this is the fastest way to expand our lives. I truly believe this. And she represents singular, right? It's like a singular noun, right? It would be a person. Yeah. Okay. It's singular noun. And yet so it all starts with you. It is about she. It's about you. And you got to go deep to go wide. And so it's the she, and then the rise is actually we, right? So the we, what would be appropriate? I'm having a massive deja vu right now. I'm even having a deja vu that I said I'm having a deja vu. Woo, this is big. This is big. This is all happened in some parallel reality. I can tell you that right now. So it would be we rise is what would be appropriate English. And that is the truth of it. But it must be she. It must be she for it to be we. And we must take the responsibility that we need to step it up to the plate. And so the full, name with the tagline is She Rise with Jaya Rose. When she moves, everything moves. And don't you feel it? Don't you feel it as truth? When you move, everything moves. You are that powerful. You are that influential. You mean that much. You are that on purpose. Everything about you and your life and you being here right now in this moment, in this reality, is not only meant to be, but it is necessary. You affect everything. And as you fully own that and know that that's the power you bring to every room, that without you there, it would not be the same. And also, when you move and you decide and you step up and you lead, the universe is always following. And I think that this gets confusing for people because it's like, oh, I just have to I just have to think something or feel something, and then the universe is going to meet me. And yes, but you need to lead the way because it's always about choice, because you decide and you say, this is me. This is the new me. This is the level I'm playing at. And the universe is like, cool, here's a bunch of stuff. And you're like, no, that's not what I meant. And so you are in that leadership position at all times. When she moves, everything moves. I just want to see your face right now. Like, what? Isn't it good? I'm so excited. And so for me, what's going to happen is that this is the umbrella of my work. It truly encompasses everything I do. I've already thought it a million times. I'm like, she rise. I'm going to tell you something. I've had a few struggles. I traveled last week. I went to Canada. I spoke at Shine Live and it was amazing. And, it's tiring. Like I have a family, a 6-year-old, my husband, now it's our anniversary yesterday and we're going to go out of town, just the two of us this Friday. And I'm launching all this. Okay. It's not like I don't have my own resistance and crap I go through. I 100% do. And I've found myself in these lower moments. I'm like, I just want to watch TV. Like what I want to do. I just want to eat carbs and sugar. And I say to myself, she rise. Like that's who I am. That's who you are. That's the power that's within you. And I've also said many times, when she moves, everything moves. And it is this like glorious way to take responsibility because it has excitement built into it. Okay. So this is the big reveal. The podcast name is going to change. It's going to be the She Rise podcast. It may be She Rise with Jaya Rose podcast. I'm not sure. I'm still deciding that. But I want you to know that you will still be subscribed. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to the podcast. If you have not left a review, if you would leave a review, that would just honor me so deeply. I would so appreciate, because I'm like, want to know who you are. And I want to know that you are on this journey with me. I really do. And know that the cover art for this is going to change, and it will change the name. And so now you're going to need to look for the She Rise podcast. Just so you know. So I've been hinting that this was going to happen. I'm going to leave it the same for this episode you'll be listening to, but then next week it will change. Okay. So that is your big reveal. I also am giving all the information on a live video. It'll actually be today that it comes out, but I will drop, actually, I just have a Google document for the information on this because it's underground as of right now. But I'm launching something called the She Launch Mastermind, and it is the Go Wide. It's how to create your own sacred signature offer that your soul thread runs through, so that you can be fully aligned in all the offers that come after that, but also so that you can have a signature offer with your own methodology that you sell over and over again, that you can scale to 6 figures and beyond, and have predictable income, and really understand how you are serving at your highest level. So in the mastermind, it's 8 weeks. I'm going to walk you through exactly how to structure and create your signature offer and have it be through the lens of your highest purpose, where maybe what you're doing right now is going to be a bonus to what you're going to do. Okay. So I just want you to start thinking about it that way. And then the next 4 weeks are going to be all around the intuitive launch styles I use. I'm going to give a number of different launch styles, because what I believe is that it's all about your energetics and your intention and what's meant to be. And so when you get into alignment with that and show up, you got to have some actual strategies involved. So I am a full like masculine feminine energy, where I love the flow and the energy and all of that, but there are strategies. Like, I am not going to lie, I have strategies to my business. Okay, I am not that coach that just says, oh, I just show up and as long as I'm feeling magnetic. And anybody who says that, I'm sorry, but that is not true, because I watch the people who say that and they crush it, and there is 100% strategy. And so the strategies are really important. So if you feel like you need that support of like, I want to be able to use my intuition and feel like I'm in flow and use my feminine power to call in my desires, and I also want to have a strategy and a container of support within my business that feels good, that feels nurturing, and also supports your specific offer, because every offer is different. And I believe every offer has its own voice and its own soul. And so it's important to understand the voice. It's almost like you're communicating for the offer. When I go into offering Embody, I get into a very different energy than just my own singular Jaya Rose energy. I really tap into, what does Embody want to express? What does Embody need to express? Who is a match for this energy this round? So I'm going to teach you that, how to dial in the energy of your offer. I mean, this is huge. This is like, I'm so excited because this is the next step. So if you've taken Embody, this is an amazing next step. And if you haven't taken Embody and you're in that deep, like, I need to still own my power and feel more confident, and also feel really confident using the laws of the universe and co-creating and trusting deeply, then Embody is the thing. But if you're like, I already have a lot of practices, I trust, I've been through so much stuff, I know my story, I'm ready, I've already been selling stuff, I've already been making money, I just want to put it together in a way that feels aligned and juicy and uses all of my magic, and be able to create a repeatable cycle so that you can do it over and over again in a way that feels really good to you, strategic, but also soulful, then the She Launch Mastermind is perfect for you. So I'm going to put information for that down below. And Embody is going to open in January. the middle of January. I need to look at the dates. I'm not sure what the date is. It's the first or second week of January. So just so you know, that's when that's opening. And this is opening the first or second week of November. So very soon. But the idea is that they are going to be running back to back. And so the next one of these will run after the next round of Embody, and so on and so on, so that you could do the whole thing, which would be 5 months of support from doing the deep inner work and then really stretching into dialing out the offer and launch strategies around the offer. So, oh my gosh, she rise. She rise. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I really hope that you saw yourself in some of this story and that you have your wheels turning around allowing the pivots and the shifts and expansion to flow, and knowing that it is not me. It does not mean you're a crazy person. It does not mean you're flaky. The one tip I do have around this, because I have pivoted a number of times, and I will tell you that not everybody followed me. Just because people don't follow you in a pivot does not mean you shouldn't pivot, because they're not going to. Because if you wanted to stay where you are, you wouldn't change. If you wanted to work with the people who are around you, you wouldn't change, right? So you got to allow yourself to grow and change and trust that the right people will come in. It's about expansion. It's not about, oh, I'm going to lose 5 clients, or maybe people aren't going to watch my stuff as much, or it's about really being true to you and your soul journey and what you're meant to do here on this earth, and then being bold in that. Also, one thing I do is I talk a lot about it. So you'll notice how for the last 2 episodes of this, I've brought it up and I've talked about it with you, because you are a loyal podcast listener and I honor you, and I do this podcast for you. So I don't know if you know that, but you're listening to this and you're like, Jaya, but you don't even know who I am and we've never even met. But that doesn't matter, because I'm doing this for you because you're listening. And so it's really important to me that you know that I honor you as a listener, and that then the way that I can honor you is to communicate with you and tell you, this is what I'm changing. This is why I'm changing. This is what's going on. And I'm not doing that on accident. And I'm not doing it because I just want to talk about myself. I'm doing it because, one, it's a great model of how to pivot and keep relationships with people. Just like if you're married and you are going through a big change, the best thing you can do is to communicate that to your partner. And it makes it so much more easeful, because in understanding each other, that's how we get to grow together. And that's my hope, is that we can grow together and that you can say, oh, okay, Jaya, yeah, I have seen you pivot a few times. Or, hey, I just found you, but I was loving the intuitive empire. But it's like, hey, no, we're on this journey together and I'm inviting you to come along. And I'm sharing my magic and my knowledge and my wisdom with you along the way. And maybe someday we'll work together, and maybe not. And maybe you'll just listen to this podcast, and that's awesome. That's so awesome. Like, I'm happy with whatever needs to be, whatever is right for us. But I also want you to know that you got to communicate it, because that shows respect. And that's how I see it, is I want you to feel the respect I have for you, that I'm not just like, oh, I'm just changing on a whim. I don't care about you. Thanks for being on the journey. Peace out. Right? No, I'm like, come along with me, because this is evolution and it's only going to get better and better. And one thing I want to tell you is that what I'm thinking about doing, and if you like this idea, will you send me a message on Instagram in my DMs, the Jaya Rose? Because what I'm thinking about doing for the new year is our themed months. So I was thinking about doing a membership, but then the She Launch Mastermind came through, and this is where I'm putting my energy. So I'm not going to do a membership, but I figure the podcast is kind of like that. You know, this is weekly free content. I try and make it really valuable for you. And what I want to do is theme every month, so that the podcasts are all around, you know, a theme. Say trust is one of them. Joy is one of them. These spiritual principles and emotions and feelings that when we come back to them, we are living a happier, healthier, more productive, more meaningful life. And I want to throw that in there into the mix. And then of course we can still be spontaneous, and I'll interview people, and you know how I do. It's some interviews, it's some just me. And I just want to know if you like this idea of doing themed months. And then you could even make suggestions about the themes for me. Okay? Oh, so excited. Thank you so much for being here. I honor you. I honor your time. Please let me know how you think, what you feel, all of the things about the She Rise podcast with Jaya Rose. Does it feel good to you? Are you going to continue listening? Will you come over to Instagram and let me know if you're going to continue listening? Because I would really love to know. All right. I'm so honored to be here with you. Thank you for listening. If you feel like this would resonate with anybody else you know, please share it with them. Share the message because that's what it's all about. All right, love. Remember, when she moves, everything moves.